Welcome to the LA Confidential podcast. My name is Christopher Elliott, and I am joined by my boys, Aren Elliott, Iden Elliott. We're all here.
Yeah. Well, except one of us.
Okay, almost all here. Well, Dustin is missing.
Yep. Well, this is the first podcast I'm on where Dustin's missing since I missed the last one.
That's right. You did.
Last one we were missing two, now we're just missing one.
Well, I'm glad that you made it back for this one, Iden. We missed you.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should set the scene here. Aren, can you describe where we are and what we're looking at right now?
Well, we are at the Capella in Bangkok,
Which is a luxury hotel.
It's a really nice hotel. And we're overlooking the river. In fact, every room in this hotel overlooks the river here in Bangkok. I forget, it's the Phraya something.
Yeah, it's the main river that goes through town. And yeah, I'm looking out here, I see the Four Seasons residences and then the pool for the Four Seasons. I look across here, and if I look to the right, I can see that icon.
I can't see him.
I can't
see him.
The huge shopping center.
I can't see him.
No, maybe that's kind of too far down the river.
I can't see him.
But it's awesome where the sun is setting and you can see the ships going up the river and down the river, and it's pretty cool. We have been in Bangkok for a week now.
Yep.
And we have stayed at some pretty spectacular hotels. So before we go to that part of our podcast, we should do this week's question, which is, what is the best hotel that you have ever stayed at? The most luxurious, best hotel experience that you've ever had? We'd love to hear about it in the comments. We have 4 candidates for you today. So we started off at the Anantara Riverside. It's a former Marriott, and it's on the other side of the river from where we are, right next to the bridge, and I can actually see it from here. What did you think of the Anantara Riverside, Aren?
Well, the Anantara Riverside was a very good hotel. It had a direct connection to a mall for some basic shopping needs. It was a little bit out there, but the location right next to the river is really good, and that's a common recurring theme you'll find among all these riverside hotels, is that what they want you to do is they want you to travel and experience Bangkok by river.
Yeah, it's a really neat experience. And we actually did that. We posted some photos in our last podcast of you on the river, but our river tour was just terrific. We went to see the giant Buddha. We went along the little canals.
Giant Buddha was crazy.
The giant Buddha. We have to post a picture of the giant Buddha.
This was the funniest thing ever that happened when we were on that boat, is because we actually just kept seeing Buddhas that got increasingly big.
They kept growing, yes.
Yeah.
I know.
And this was unintentional, but for our first Buddha, I was like, that's a big Buddha. I should take a picture of that and send it to my friends. I sent it to them like, whoa, big Buddha, that's crazy. And then we go to another place.
Even bigger
the Buddha's
Buddha.
even bigger. And they're like,
Yes.
Oh my goodness, how big do these Buddhas get? And then another place. And the second place to the big Buddha was nowhere close to the size of the big Buddha. So when we moved over to the big Buddha, they were like, I didn't even know you could build a sculpture that big, because it went from like the size of a 3-bedroom home to the size of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it was definitely Statue of Liberty scale. Big.
They just went crazy.
Yeah,
they couldn't hold themselves, and they were screaming.
Yeah, we'll post that. But the canals are very interesting, and it was a real cultural experience. We went past a pepper factory. I mean, how many times do you get to say I went past a pepper factory on a boat tour?
What is the economics of the pepper industry?
Oh, pepper is big. And our guide, his name is Diamond, he was awesome. He was like, he knew everything. He took us to some of the really out-of-the-way, hole-in-the-wall, authentic Thai restaurant places.
Oh my gosh, that Thai food was amazing.
The one thing that I would say is, if you do get to Thailand, order the coconut smoothies, because they are the best.
So good.
Our next stop was the Four Seasons, which we can actually see from here. We're looking at the pool. And that was a very different experience from Anantara. This was the Four Seasons and the Capella are the 2 newest luxury properties in Bangkok. And we just took a tour of that property just now. So we came back and took a tour. And wow, they really you have to actually get them to show you around the hotel because everything is a work of art.
I mean, really, it's not just the artwork inside the hotel. They have a literal art gallery, a dedicated art space, and then they have Michelin star restaurants that are equipped with more art.
It's art everywhere. They really went above and beyond. If you want a very upscale experience in Bangkok, this is definitely a place to consider. It's also on the river, so you get the nice river views from the rooms. So from there, we went to the Siam or the Siam. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so I'm just going to say it both ways. And that is a completely different experience. Iden.
Now, does the Icon Siam, is that owned by Siam?
No.
No. The Icon is the big mall that we went to.
By the way, for reference, the joke, we said this joke in the beginning of the podcast where you're looking for the mall, but it's literally called Icon Siam. I can't see him. So when we were trying to find this mall, we were looking around everywhere and we just couldn't find it. We couldn't see him.
We did it. You can't miss that mall. That's the funny thing is it's huge.
And beautiful.
It is beautiful. And actually, it's not there for American tourists. It's more for Asian tourists.
Yeah.
That's what we actually found out when we were asking around is that it's people come from Hong Kong to go shopping there because the prices are a little bit lower.
Yeah. There's other malls for Western tourists.
Yeah,
like
that
the
wasn't one of them.
The one attached to the Anantara, that one it has a freaking Taco Bell. It's for Western tourists.
So, what did you think of the Siam?
Siam? When we were there, the best part, I would say, and this is my inner cocktail journalist coming out, as some of our listeners know, I used to cover mocktails for cocktail.com. And when we were there, they showed us some beautiful mocktails that I took some pictures of. We might actually put those pictures on for this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But delicious, beautiful, and you get a nice view of the river. They have a nice infinity pool, and also everything at the hotel is centered like around sustainability. So you can rest easy if you stay there.
That's right. You don't have to worry about your carbon footprint. It is kind of like a hotel that it's very eclectic. It's got a lot of old art. A lot of the owners take a lot of special care to make sure that everything is just so, and they put their own personal collection in there. And it looks a little bit like the kind of hotel that Indiana Jones would stay in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a good description.
Yeah. What did you think of the Siam, Aren?
It's definitely not a normal luxury resort. It's more rustic. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's a lot more rustic. It's tucked away. You're really in a resort when you're there. And I think that for that hotel particularly, the one thing that makes it set apart is that it really is isolated. And it really, it has a very rustic aesthetic that I think that a certain type of tourist will want. Mm-hmm. It's not the same as, the glitzy 5-star experience that you'd get elsewhere.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned glitzy 5-star because we are probably in the glitziest of all the hotels that we've stayed in right now. We're at the Capella, which is a small Singapore-based hotel chain. It's expanding slowly, mostly in Southeast Asia, but there's one just opened in Sydney, Australia. And here we are. This place is, to describe it, it's a lot of wood, a lot of marble. Everything there are high ceilings. And
it's very modern.
It's very, very modern. Everything's very designer, but you really can't move in this hotel without someone being there. They have a 3-to-1 guest to staff ratio. So or staff to guest ratio, I should say. So for every 3 staff, there's 1 guest.
What?
So, I know.
No.
Yeah. That kind of level of luxury, I mean, as a kind of, I'm like a out in the woods kind of guy. I like living in a log cabin and hiking around the mountains. So for me to have this level of attention, it feels a little bit awkward. They try to make you feel very comfortable, but I'm just I'm astonished every time I go downstairs. There's someone there who wants to help me with something.
Sometimes it's hilarious, like when I order food delivery on Grab, and I go outside to get the food, and it's like just take out food in a plastic bag. I walk in, and every single person in my way says, "Enjoy your meal, sir."
Yes, that's right.
It's like I just have a plastic bag filled with food, and like 3 people at the door, 4 people along the way, 2 people at the elevator, 2 people on the level of our hotel room. They're all just like, "Enjoy your meal, sir. Enjoy your meal, sir. Enjoy your meal, sir." And I'm like, this is insane.
This week's question is, what's the best hotel experience you've ever had? Best luxury hotel experience. We've been talking about luxury hotels and what we like about luxury hotels and what we sometimes don't like about luxury hotels. And we've had 4 really incredible luxury hotel experiences this week. I'm going to be writing about them very soon, but we're bringing them to you first on our podcast. Last week's question was, have you ever stayed at a place that defied your expectations? Sam says Lofoten Islands in Norway defied her expectations. It's 100 miles above the Arctic Circle. We were not expecting to see gorgeous white sand beaches and numerous surf schools. I didn't know about surf schools in Lofoten. Yes.
Lofoten.
Do they have waves in Lofoten? I guess they do. She says they were looking for icebergs, but they saw surfers. Annie says, in concert with the Elliots, my husband and I honeymooned in Singapore. On our move to Australia, I thought we were going to old Asia, in quotes, where men with long Fu Manchus in rickshaws carted you around the city's dirt-covered streets. Yes, that was my vision. Annie, I'm glad to see that I am not the only one. Was I ever surprised to see the beautiful, clean, gleaming, burgeoning city and malls going under...
Are they talking about Singapore?
Singapore, yeah.
Wait. But Singapore
over
is like
blocks.
the future.
Yes. Longest escalators I've ever seen. Orchids and excellent food. We thought we were going to make it to Singapore. I don't know if we're actually going to. Okay, well, we're not going to reveal too much of our future travel plans, but Barb says that I hope you got up to Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is on our list, so I will confirm that for you. We do hope to make it up there. Well, that's about it for the Elliott Confidential podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next week. We have a little surprise because Iden's taking a side trip, but we're not telling you where he's going.
Oh.
So we will see you next week.
Okay. I'll tell you guys then.
Yes, you will. Bye.
Okay, ciao.